Tottenham have finally found their new number 6, and it looks like it is going to be Joao Palhinha who is going to become that new central midfielder under Thomas Frank heading into the new season, joining from Bayern Munich on loan with an option to buy of around £26 million. Now, this deal is splitting a lot of the Tottenham fan base, so it's my job in this video to tell you why Tottenham have opted to go for a more experienced, bullish, ball-winning type midfielder as that number 6 for Thomas Frank's system. But first of all, if you do enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like on it down below and subscribe to the channel. All of your support recently has been amazing, so thank you very much for that. So why Xiao Palinia then? Well, there are a lot of different reasons why Tottenham have pulled the trigger on this deal. I think one of the big ones is that it appears to a lot of people to be a sort of stopgap for the next 12 months because we can't really get hold of any of our primary targets. I think towards the top of our list for a number 6 midfielder under Thomas Frank, we're looking at Adam Wharton and Carlos Baleba, two players who are in very high demand, who have starred in the Premier League over the last year, but are also very expensive and not really for sale from either of their parent clubs, Crystal Palace or Brighton. So by doing this Xiao Palinia deal with a loan and an option to buy, not an obligation, but an option of £26 million, it gives Tottenham the opportunity to see how things go over the next year, have Palinia in the team. If he's really, really good, then the option is there to bring him on board permanently. If not, he can go back to Bayern Munich, no questions asked, and then we can move on to other targets. Now, it does seem like Tottenham are going to cover his entire salary over the season, which is quite expensive. I think he's on around £200,000 a week. So if Heung-min Son does leave Tottenham this summer, he could be Spurs' highest paid player. He earns about €10 million a year. It's pretty crazy. But there are more reasons why Spurs have gone for this deal other than just the fact that he is a stopgap. Yes, I know he's just turned 30 years old, but Tottenham, and Ange Postecoglou even last season said it, have needed to bring a level of experience into this squad over the last couple of years, and we never really have done that. And we're seeing the sort of transfer strategy from Johan Lange and Spurs this summer as a little bit different than what we have done recently. We are bringing in Premier League proven players. Obviously, Mohamed Kudus has done it with West Ham. Joao Palhinha, before he went to Fulham, was regarded as one of, if not the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League. There is a reason why Bayern Munich came in and bought Palhinha for about 50 million off of Fulham last summer. The issue he's had at Bayern and the reason why he only made 4 league starts under Vincent Kompany is because Bayern changed managers, and Kompany's style is very heavily possession based. It's very technical, and I don't necessarily think that Joao Palhinha fits into that mould of play that Kompany is trying to implement at Bayern Munich. And also, Palhinha has suffered with a lot of injuries over the last year or so, which has made it a lot more difficult for him to become consistent and get consistent minutes. But one of the things I love about this deal, and probably one of the things that's helped it over the line, to be honest, is that he seems really, really keen to join Spurs. And we can say that that isn't the case for a certain Nottingham Forest player who signed a new contract, is that Joao Palhinha has made it very, very clear that he wants to join Spurs, even permanently. And whether that will happen or not, I don't know, because he is on the older side and on the other side of his career. But if he can recapture his form that he had at Fulham, he will be a fantastic signing for Spurs. Now, we could have gone one of two ways with this. We could have gone out and pursued more of a ball-playing, technical central defensive midfielder. Bear in mind, we're looking at filling this number 6 role on the pitch in a double pivot with a number 10 playing in front of them. So we could have gone out and signed a technical player, which a lot of Spurs fans wanted us to do. But instead, we've opted for something that we don't currently have in the squad, which is this thuggish, hard-working bully of a player. Now, when you think of bullies for Tottenham, you can't really go through that squad and name too many people. I think a lot of people are comparing this Palhinha deal to Højbjerg, and he's a similar sort of player, but I'll tell you right now, Palhinha is a better player than Højbjerg ever was. And I know that there are highlights playing over the top of this video, and if you just watch them and watch the level that Palhinha played at Fulham with his tackling and with his ball winning skills and with his effort and intensity on the pitch, I think you can probably already see why this could be a very, very good signing for Thomas Frank. And especially when we play the Liverpools, when we play the Arsenals again, when we play the Manchester Cities, teams that are naturally going to have more of the ball than us, having someone like Palhinha in the middle of that park is going to be so beneficial to us to be able to break up the play, stop the transitions, and just be a bit more dominant in the middle of the park, which I think we've been lacking for a while now. When you have a look at the midfield that started against Arsenal in pre-season yesterday, you had Pat Matasar, Lucas Bergvall and Rodrigo Bentancur. And while they were all good players in their own right, Joao Palhinha and his type, it's really, really lacking in the current squad. That type of profile who you know is going to fly into tackles, is really big and physical, and players aren't going to want to go up against him. He's also really dominant on set pieces as well, which is another huge benefit for Spurs, in my opinion. I just feel like this has the potential to really, really work out for Spurs. And yeah, when I was reading that a lot of people weren't happy with this deal, I was a little bit confused. And especially if getting this player in on loan allows us to free up funds to bring in a marquee attacking signing as well, particularly if Son leaves, then I am all for it. And yeah, I'm hoping we're now finally starting to see the benefits of this investment in this Tottenham team, and hopefully a bit more of a move on in the transfer market with how slow we've been so far. But I mean, there are some stats still lying about for Joao Palhinha that I will run through, and we have to take this with a pinch of salt because he hasn't played too much for Bayern Munich over the last year or so. But in terms of aerial duels won, he ranks in the top 96 percentile across Europe, which is amazing, averaging 2.3 aerial duels won per 90 minutes, as well as 3.19 tackles per 90 minutes, which ranks him in the top 93 percentile. So he is an elite midfielder when it comes to tackling, ball winning and winning his duels. And like I say, it's a profile we've been missing. And he's also, I've seen a lot of people saying that his passing's really bad and he doesn't have any technical ability. You guys can see from this clip that I'm playing over the top, he is alright at passing. And the stats say that as well. 92.4% pass completion rate for Bayern last season, 74 passes attempted per 90 minutes. And if we go back even further, Xiao Palinia is, wow. I don't even really know what to say in terms of his stats for Fulham. And like I say, he was getting so much praise from so many different pundits and players and stuff. You know, at the end of the 2023-24 season, he made a tackle every 17 minutes on average across the Premier League season. It was 152 tackles across the entire season in his last campaign for Fulham, which is incredible. Between the 2022 and 2023 seasons, Palhinha won the most tackles in the Premier League as well. So that's what we're getting, essentially. Look, he's not going to light the world on fire when it comes to spraying diagonal balls across the pitch or playing through balls into the final third. But what he is going to do, he's going to do really, really well, which is being a bully in the middle of the park, winning the ball. He goes to ground a lot, by the way. Slide tackles are like his speciality, and I really, really don't mind that. Like I say, there are some clips that you'll see that show him just really breaking up dangerous attacks and transitions and counters, and I think that's going to be such a useful tool for Thomas Frank to have in this Tottenham team. He said that Palinias spoke to Thomas Frank and was convinced of the project by him, and he's really, really excited about the prospect of joining. And for a player of his quality that we know he can play really, really well, that's more than enough for me, and he seems really, really eager. And who knows, we might well need him in the Super Cup against PSG in a couple of weeks' time with how probably on the back foot we're going to be. I also distinctly remember him having a masterclass at the Emirates against Arsenal in his last season at Fulham. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good deal. But let me know what you think in the comments below. How is Joao Palhinha going to fit in at Tottenham? And do you think this is a good signing? I think when you put him in the middle of the park next to a Pat Matasar or a Lucas Bergvall. I think the balance between being that ball winner and the technical ability that the likes of Sarr have in progressing the ball forwards is going to be a really nice balance, and I'm very excited to see how this loan moves goes and whether we decide to make it permanent next season or go in for a different target. But thank you so much for watching. That is why Tottenham have chosen to sign Joao Palhinha from Bayern Munich. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on the video as well if you enjoyed. I'll be back with another one very, very soon. But for now, enjoy the rest of your week. And as always, come on, you Spurs.